Well, Aberdeen Grain is a drying, marketing grain cooperative based in Aberdeenshire at Whiterashes, and we're covering basically our members are within a 30-mile radius. So most of the farmers who are members of Aberdeen Grain are here to have their crops dried and marketed predominantly to the best possible advantage. And that's where Aberdeen Grain make a particularly good job, for example, of malting barley, where they can pool resources and take all the different varieties to their members, specify to their members which varieties to grow. So they're giving them a bit of agronomy advice, a bit of a steer as to where the market is and how to get the best value from what they're growing. For me and my business at home, I view Aberdeen Grain basically as an extension of my business, in that I'm one of 186 members, and collectively, take the individual pieces and put them together, the sum is far greater than the total of the individuals.
Aberdeen Grain to me supplies a very efficient service to the farmer from growing to marketing. They give us advice on what crops to grow, what they can sell for basically the maximum return. They remove it off the farm very quickly at harvest time, process it through the modern facilities here and market it to our best advantage. Obviously there's tremendous variation in quality from all the members that come in here, but it can be blended in here and it can be marketed to the maximum advantage of the member. 25 years ago I saw the benefit of Aberdeen Grain as I started to expand my business in a land I took on. Had no drying facilities at all, so I was fortunate. I was working from a clean board and I decided to invest in Aberdeen Grain. There's two reasons for that. One, I didn't have to buy, maintain and operate grain drying storage. And two, we have a fairly significant potato enterprise on our farm, so we could get harvesters out of a race to get finished, get clear, so we could start lifting potatoes. So this was a way, it's worked very successfully with Aberdeen Grain, where we cut the grain. Some of it doesn't even get tipped in the floor, it goes straight into a trailer and down here. So we get our grain shifted with a minimum of work from us, and it's been very, very successful, and because we have no storage for grain, so we can cut a large area of grain and store it in a very confined space to a certain extent, and it gets moved down here very quickly.
We can store here around 66,000 dry tonnes, and we're handling in excess of 70,000 tonnes of wet tonnage going through the plant. We store in 15 separate flat bays, and we store in 8 silo bins. So there's 23 individual segregations. Well, I think information flow to its members is absolutely critical. I think one of the big issues within the supply chain is trying to get information flow from the consumer back down to the grower to enable them to make and plan their decisions on farm, and vice versa, getting the growers' problems and issues as far as growing some of the crops back up to the consumer, and trying to sort of align both parties. And I think Aberdeen Grain provides plays a very, very significant role in delivering that, because we can take the information from the consumer, spread that around our member base, and equally well have a very strong voice is taking that back. So I think that's a key part of the Aberdeen Grain business. We do a lot of work trying to make sure that, for instance, on delivery, that the member has complete transparency, if you like, around what the specifications and these load details are, really as soon as the material is delivered. So we've developed a system to allow that to happen. So as soon as the Arctic is over the second, or the load is over the second weigh bridge, they can physically see the specification and the load details straight away. So information flow, transparency, and really understanding the member's business, I think, is absolutely key, a key service we provide. The malting barley has sold to mostly in the distilling sector. A large percentage of it would be low nitrogen, so that would go in the distilling sector. The higher nitrogen malting barley would tend to be aligned to the brewing sector, but there is specific requirements in the Scottish marketplace for high nitrogen diastatic malt, mostly Belgravia. Oilseed rape all goes for export. Milling oats, we have a contract with Morning Foods, and feed barley and feed wheat tend to go in the domestic market or across the quayside for export, mostly the domestic market. Openfield provide the marketing expertise, if you like, in the business. The key advantage of using a business like Openfield is really to give Aberdeen Grain members exposure to wider markets, and that can be highlighted with the segregation of both low and high nitrogen barleys, spring barleys. It gives Aberdeen members huge flexibility when it comes to delivering different qualities into the store. So, but it's an open field market, 100% of Aberdeen Grain's members' produce.
The benefits of cooperation are probably to try and stop one of farmers' biggest faults, and that is individualism. Because individually you can be picked off by the big companies. If we can all get together, market our product, regardless of commodity, join together and do it as big a way as we can, it's bound to give us more say. To me, that's how the supermarkets win, because they're big and they can pick off the suppliers. So why can't we just work with the same rule book, and let's all get together, let's spread the information that's required, whether it's agronomic, varietal or marketing. It's all out there, but it's not available in such depth to the individual farmer. So if we can get everyone together to do everything together, then we're speaking from a stronger base, and I think it must be the way forward.